caught up in your presence. I just wanna sit here at your feet. I'm caught up in this holy moment, and I never wanna leave. Oh, I'm not here for blessings, no. Jesus, you don't owe me anything more than anything that you can do. I just want you. Oh, nothing else. I'm sorry when I've just gone through the motions. I'm sorry when I just sang another song. Take me back to where we started. I open up my heart to you. And I'm sorry when I've come with my agenda. I'm sorry when I forgot that you're enough. Take me back to where we started. I open up my heart to you. I'm caught up in your presence, 'cause I just wanna sit here at your feet. I'm caught up in this holy moment, and I never wanna leave. Oh, I never wanna leave. I'm not here for blessings, no. 'Cause Jesus, you don't know me anything more than anything that you can do. I just want you. And I'm sorry when I've just gone through the motions. I'm sorry when I sing another song. Take me back to where we started. I open up my heart to you. And I'm sorry when I've come with my agenda. I'm sorry when I forget that you're enough. Take me back to where we started. I open up my heart to you. Oh, nothing else. I want you. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else will do. I just want you. Nothing else. Nothing else, Jesus. Nothing else will do. I just want you. And nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else will do. I just want you. And nothing else. Nothing else, Jesus. Nothing else will do. I just want you. And nothing else. Oh, nothing else. Nothing else will do. I just want you. Oh, nothing else. just wanna sit here at your feet. I'm caught up in this holy moment, and I never wanna leave.
Hi everyone, and we all hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving with friends and family. Well, I wanted to give a couple of things coming soon and 4 ways for you to be a part of our church community. The first way is through Next Steps. If you're new or newer here, Next Steps is our process to help you become part of the community here at the house. We have 3 steps through our Next Steps process. Step 1 is our open house lunch, and that's a time for you to have lunch with some of our team. Step 2 is Mission and Vision, where we go over the mission, vision, and where we're going as a church community. And lastly, Step 3, the house is my home. And here you get to make the house officially your home church. On December 3rd, we'll be hosting Step 1 immediately after church. You can go ahead and RSVP in the lobby at our Next Step table or online. The second way to be a part of our church community is through groups. Groups exist to help you grow and develop deeper community here at the house. Our next Connect group season begins February of 2024, so go ahead and save that month, prepare for that. It's going to be an incredible time to really develop that deeper community. The third way to be a part of our community is through events. Events are our one-time experience to help inspire and encourage our church community. This December 9th, we will be hosting our very first Silence Retreat. In the midst of one of the most busiest months of the entire year, we're doing a special series titled Sabbath, A Christmas of Rest, and we wanted to specifically dedicate a time and a space for our church community to gather and to just be in the presence of God and to receive from Him in the busiest season of the year. More details online, but go ahead and save the date and we'll see you there. On December 10th, we are having a Kids Christmas Sunday. Yes, you heard that right. Our kids are going to be leading us in a couple of the cutest Christmas worship songs. So you're definitely going to want to mark your calendar, especially if you have little ones in the kids' church. Go ahead and invite your family and your friends. It's going to be a special Sunday. The fourth way to be a part of our church community is through classes. Classes exist to help you learn biblical principles to grow your faith. I'm excited to announce that come January 10th, for 4 Wednesdays, we're going to be going over the Gospels with Pastor Dana. You can go ahead and RSVP online under our Coming Soon page. You're not going to want to miss this. It's going to be amazing. There's so many ways to be a part of our church community, and we're excited that this December we're starting a whole new series. We've got so many things planned, so we look forward to seeing you next weekend.
Hey, welcome to the house. My name is Wes. My wife Vanessa and I, we are the lead pastors here. Happy Thanksgiving weekend. We are so glad that you're joining us. Today's special because it is an online-only message. And so if you are still recovering from Thanksgiving, you don't even got to get out of your pajamas. This message is for you. Maybe you're watching this later, or maybe someone shared it with you online or texted this message. I think that this would be encouraging to you. I just want to say welcome home. If you have any questions about who we are, what we're about, or especially if you're here in Los Angeles, how to join us for a live in-person service, check out thehousela.org. We'll put it up on the bottom of the screen, but we would love to have you. Thank you, by the way, for those of you in advance. You're liking, you're subscribing, you're sharing these messages. It actually helps us get the message of Jesus out, so thank you so much for doing that. Today, we're doing a one-off message that I just really felt like I wanted to prepare our church as we're going into this season. Now, in the month of December, we're starting up a brand new series called Sabbath, A Christmas of Rest. Sabbath, A Christmas of Rest. And we're doing all kinds of different things where instead of just the hustle and bustle and running and just driving, we're going, no, this season is about Jesus. It's about Him. It's about what He's doing in His glory. And so we want to celebrate Him. We want to rest in Him. We want to trust Him. And so in preparation for that today, I really feel like the Lord wanted me to talk today on faith for your finances. And you may ask, wait, faith for finances right before Sabbath? Yes, faith for finances right before Sabbath, because as we get into December and January, some of the key stresses that people have in their life is revolving around money. Now, finances and family, those are some of the top things, especially like, hey, Wes, I just got done having Thanksgiving with my crazy uncle or my weird aunt or my brother that owes me money and I'm frustrated about. Family can be one of those top stressors. Another stressor could also be with money. Recently, I saw this video, and this young guy, he's driving a boat on what looks like a kind of a big lake. He's driving the boat on this lake, and he's driving it slow, and it's got this big wake off the back of the boat. And so he's going to do something called wake surfing, where you're off the back of the boat. Maybe you're about the distance of maybe you and I, right? Or me and this camera, just about 6 feet or so. And he jumps off the back, and he's holding onto the boat, and he's just kind of like riding the wave, but the camera is mounted to the boat, and there's no one in the boat. He's just out there by himself, fully confident in his ability. You know, he's just kind of holding on. He's having a good time, and I'm sure it's worked 1,000 times, but that day, my man fell, and the boat just kept on going. The boat just kept on going. When it comes to people's faith and their finances, a lot of people's faith is like that boat, and it's just driving itself off into the sunset, and it's going to shipwreck on some shore, or it's going to hurt somebody, or it's going to run into something else. Something bad is going to happen because no one is actually driving the boat. Let me ask you this question today. What determines your faith? Or I could flip it, I could say, what determines your anxiety? Is it the economy? Is it the news? We're entering a political cycle right now here in America. We've got elections coming up. In literally about 1 year from now, we will vote as a country on the next president. And during those political cycles, you'll see if there's fear, and you know, they always do the same commercials, right? They show the other guy and it's black and white, and there's like this eerie music. So-and-so said this about that. And then the music gets bright and the colors get bright, and they're like, but our candidate says this, you know, so-and-so robbed money from puppies. You know, it's always like something fearful, and the other guy's like, but this person adopted 1,000 cats. You're like, that's weird, but okay, I guess the cat guy gets my vote instead of the gal or the guy who robbed from puppies or something like that. But those political cycles, they feed on fear as well. What determines your anxiety? What is that driving force of that boat of your life that causes your heart rate to spike and your anxiety? Maybe you're thinking of it right now. There's certain news articles or there's certain news stories that when I see them, I can feel my blood pressure rising. Maybe you're that way as well. You can feel the anxiety start to rise. You know, fear speaks. I don't know if you know that, but fear has a voice, and it's always talking. It's always, oh man, if you didn't know about the mortgage rates, man, they're at 6 and 7, and it's gonna be 8. I heard it's gonna be 1,000%. You know, in the economy, and then you know, it's funny. I've seen recently 2 headlines like side by side that said the exact opposite thing about the exact same topic. And it was like, choose your own adventure, and whatever you're afraid of, you're like, home prices are going up. I can't afford it. Oh my goodness, you know, home prices are going down. The economy is collapsing. And it's like, and you can choose your own adventure in that. Fear speaks, but let me tell you something about this. When you're driving that boat, if nothing else is driving it, fear wants to drive that boat of your life. Fear wants to drive that boat of your life and grab that steering wheel of your life so that it can make the decisions for you, so that you're just off in that lake behind, trying to swim and catch up, and you'll never catch up because fear is driving. Fear speaks, but you know what also speaks? Faith speaks. 2 Corinthians chapter number 4, verse 13 says this, but we continue to preach because we have the same kind of faith that the psalmist had when he said, I believed in God, so I spoke. I believed, so I spoke. What I believed in my heart, I confessed with my mouth. I believed. And so Paul's like, we have that same kind of faith. There's a faith that comes, and it's not just like, you know, just a faith that's in your heart. They go, you know, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord, my soul, and you're just praying it quietly in your heart. No, faith that arises out of you that says, I'm not going to let the boat of my life or the boat of my finances, go off into the sunset by itself. No, faith speaks. Faith says stuff like God is in control. Faith said things like God can bless me wherever I am at. Faith says things like if God provided manna for 1 million Israelites in the desert, surely he can take care of me. Faith sees scriptures like in Genesis 26, Isaac planted his crops that year in a time of famine, and he harvested 100 times more grain than what he had planted, for the Lord blessed him. It's like, oh, that's so much. It gets better. The Bible says that he became a very rich man. His wealth continued to grow, and he acquired so many flocks of sheep and goats, herds of cattle, and servants. Everything grew that the surrounding people got jealous. In a time of famine, Isaac planted and grew and prospered so much that it created a jealousy in his enemies' hearts. How about this? Faith speaks. Proverbs 3 verses 9 and 10 says this, honor the Lord with your wealth, with the best part of everything that you produce. Let me stop right there. Some people think that they're not wealthy, and I would just venture to say that most people would not say that they are wealthy. I know people that go, dude, you're wealthy, and they go, nah, I'm not that wealthy. Like, when I get to this next level, I'm wealthy. The fact that you and I are watching this on a digital device, you're watching this on a laptop, on a smart TV, on a phone, that's $1,000 or something like that. We are wealthy to the rest of the world. So let me just kind of put that in perspective for all of us. Most of us don't think that we're wealthy, but we are in retrospect to everyone else around us. But the Bible tells us we should honor the Lord with our wealth. This is what will happen. Then he will fill your barns with grain, and your vats will overflow with good wine. You're like, hey, Wes, I don't have any vats, and I don't have any good wine. Let me just tell you this way, good things will happen in your life. Just honor the Lord with your wealth and the best part of everything that you produce. Some people want to give God their leftovers. One time when I was a youth pastor, someone at our church was like, hey, I just want to bring a donation by the church. I'm like, that's amazing. That's great, because we were helping start this church up, and it was in a small town, and we didn't have much money. Everything was, we just had to make it happen. There was like, what's the budget? The budget is $0, and these two hands, go paint a wall or something. So it was like, hey, pastor, I just want to bless the church. I'm like, that's amazing. That's great. Like, what is it? And they're like, we want to donate some carpet. I'm like, that's amazing. One of the youth rooms and one of the kids' classrooms, we didn't have any carpet. And they're great. So we started asking some more questions. They go, yeah, we have this old carpet at our house. And I go, okay. And they go, we're getting it replaced with new carpet, and we just wanted to bring the old carpet here and just wanted to bless the church with it. I'm sure their heart was in the right place, but I just go, wait a minute. That doesn't sound like honoring the Lord with the best part of everything that you produce. That sounds like I want to avoid a dump fee. That's what that sounds like, and call it generosity. Proverbs tells us, no, give God your best. Honor him. And then he says, your barns will be filled with grain. And it's like, okay, you and I, most of us don't have barns, but we do have bank accounts. We do have other things. Maybe you've got, business things like that. And he says, hey, those things are going to go well. So fear speaks, but faith also speaks. Faith says things like, it's going to be okay. God's got me. He provided then, and he'll provide now. I've been young, and now I'm old, yet I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his descendants begging bread. I am blessed. God's got me. I will live and not die, and I will declare the works of the Lord. Faith speaks. But you know what else also speaks? Wisdom speaks. And this is where I just kind of put on my pastor hat as we're looking forward to this Christmas season. And as we're looking forward to the new year, wisdom also speaks. Because sometimes in the church, if I can be honest, some people go, we don't go fear, we only go faith, and you just got to preach it, and you got to give, and that's all you got to do. And I go, yeah, that's good. But what about wisdom? The Bible also tells us that wisdom speaks. Wisdom's got something to say. You know, wisdom says this in Proverbs 1. We just read from Proverbs 3, but if you back up 2 chapters, Proverbs 1 says this, wisdom shouts. Wisdom shouts in the streets. She cries out in the public square. She calls to the crowd along the main street, to those gathered in front of the city gate, come, listen to my counsel. I'll share my heart with you, and I will make you wise. Wisdom also speaks. So who gets to drive that boat? Is it fear or is it faith and wisdom? Faith and wisdom, they work together. Faith says God's got us, and wisdom says here's the steps that we are going to take together. Let me give you just a couple of financial wisdom thoughts here, especially as you're going into December and as we're going into the new year together. When it comes to your finances, wisdom says things like, have a written budget. Save for a rainy day. Get out of debt. Live within your means. It means that, you don't have to buy a car that makes it look like you're doing super duper well. Just live within your means. Or this last one, honor the Lord with your first, with your best. So have a written budget, have a plan, write it out. If you're married, talk it over with your spouse. Save for a rainy day. It's going to happen, okay? Get out of debt. The Bible says that when you're in debt, you're actually a slave to that person. They kind of get to control the mechanisms of your life, telling you what you can and can't do. Get out of that. Live within your means. We don't have to impress anybody. God has a plan for your life, and go according to that plan, and then honor the Lord with your first. Maybe you've never given before. Maybe you've never joined in that journey of generosity, of tithes, where you go, God, that first 10%, not 2%, not 1%, that first 10%, that belongs to you, and I want to honor you with my first tenth. God, I'm going to test you in it. By the way, it's the only thing in the Bible that God says, test me in this. Try it out. See what happens. Like God's like, I will give you a money-back guarantee. Money-back guarantee. Some of this, by the way, sounds like grandma's wisdom or grandpa's wisdom, but maybe grandma or grandpa knew something when they said save for a rainy day or have a written budget. As we go into this Christmas and this new year, let's be a people, let's be a church that are led by faith, and let's be a church and a people that are led by wisdom. Jesus, thank you so much for all my friends. God, I'm praying that they had a great Thanksgiving, but that as they enter into this Christmas season, that they would be people who are led by faith and who are led by wisdom. In Jesus' name, amen. Friends, if you're watching this today and you say, hey, I'm going to join you for a service, I just want to let you know I would be so honored to have you be a part of our church. I'd be honored to be your pastor. Have you just come check us out some Sunday? You can check out thehousela.org for service times and directions. I would love to see you, shake your hand, pray with you, give you a hug, and maybe a cup of coffee in our lobby, something like that. We would love to meet you. Hey, next week we're starting up our brand new series on Sabbath, a Christmas of rest, both online and in person. Come check it out in person. We'd love to see you. This Christmas is going to be great. Finally, I want to say thank you to those of you who have joined us in that journey of generosity. We're talking about, one of the points today is about honoring the Lord with your first. I want to challenge you and I want to challenge us as a church in this. As we head into this Christmas season, let's give God our first and let's give God our best. If you'd like to join us in that, you can check out thehousela.org and look for that button that says give. God bless, and I'll see you back next week here at The House.